Good evening, everyone. Welcome to AI Hack Day 2025 orientation program. It is a national level hackathon where innovation meets impact. Today we embark on a journey to solve real world challenges using cutting edge AI tools. In this, we can see healthcare, agriculture, creative tech, and many more like this. This event is not just about building prototypes, it's just like igniting ideas that could shape the future. Guided by industry mentors and fueled by your creativity. Let's make this day of collaboration, learning, and groundbreaking innovation. Welcome to AI Day 2025 orientation program. Let's build the future together. Let's welcome Kiran Chandra, who is the founder of Swecha for free and open source software and the center head at Vishwam AI, a leading hub for innovation in artificial intelligence with extensive experience in technology and a passion for community driven development. He has been instrumental in driving impactful initiatives at the intersection of AI and open source technologies. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tanmay, and a very good evening to everyone. And I'm glad that there is a very significant enrollment for the AI Hack Day that is happening. And I think this is the first of its kind in the country where thousands of people are participating in it. And of course, AI has been the buzzword for quite some time now in the Telugu states at least, and even in the India and also the global north, and also now it's picking up in the global south. So this whole idea of why we have this hack days, Tanmay has mentioned about it, that it's not just about how to build AI, but this entire hack day is around how do you hack AI to build and solve problems for the people of India or people around you. Look at any primary problem that is around you and we try to solve it through AI. And the problem can be making a music, making a fusion music, or maybe you could solve a healthcare solution, or you could solve an agri-tech solution, or whatever it is. First and fundamentally, when people speak about AI, it is considered to be about something uh, extremely capable thing that has come into existence for all of us to do. Yes, of course, it is super. It has got some good capabilities uh, to the level that if you look at the LLMs that are built today, maybe the solutions built by the proprietary ones like OpenAI or the Llama 3 or any models that are there in the public domain or which people are using now, they all have learned what is there in the public knowledge over the internet. And if you actually count on it, it comes to be around the whole thing. People say that it is around close to 10 to the power of 13 tokens. It is 10 trillion tokens. The 10 trillion tokens, if we were to read as a human being, if we read for 8 hours a day, and on an average speed of reading, good reader also, it would take close to 1,76,000 years for us to read the entire data and to be able to reproduce from the learnings. This for us appears to be something huge, very humongous. And but if you really look at a certain interesting uh, ways at which how does our human brain learn things? For instance, the optic nerve that we have uh, is capable of transmitting data that reach at the rate of 20 Mbps, 20 megabytes per second, and uh, the information when somebody sees outside that reaches the visual cortex is reaching at a speed of 20 Mbps. But if you assume that the 4-year-old child who is awake for 8 hours in a day, maybe 8 hours he sleeps or she sleeps, and when they are awake, a 4 years child basically processes a data which is equivalent to 10 to the power of 15 tokens. And it means it is 100 times more than the best LLMs of the world. So what LLMs today are doing are just nothing but mimicking from the existing knowledge. So the one thing is one should never be afraid of what this entire world of AI is. Let us demystify a part of it. The thing is, yes, we want you all to build AI, but also even to reach there, first we need to begin with the step of consuming AI. So the thing is, look at the open source solutions that are available, the free and open source solutions that are available. For instance, it could be Llama, or it could be from Gemini, or it could be from any of these LLMs that are available. Use the LLMs, look at a problem, and try solving it with the tech that you have. Be it creation of a music, never even think about how creatively you can basically innovate. Maybe the other day when we were having a conversation at Viswam, we just started looking at what could be the total number of film songs that are there in Telugu. So we started to see if there is something that has been. We accidentally we found that uh, we came across a book online in a library which speaks about all the songs from the 1940s. So you could think about using the same lyrics, have a fusion of the old songs and the current songs together. Look at a healthcare problem, even be it a problem of a primary health center around you. You start with music, create a fusion of music is one part of it, or otherwise completely go to your primary health center. Look at the data sets that are there, look at the databases that are there, and if you can solve a problem, uh, write a small solution using AI. How you can solve the problem from there is something that you need to look at and form teams in this. And this is an exercise that is not going to be a one day event. This is going to be the only the beginning of your journey in AI. The reason is using AI, like we all have been using internet, is going to be an essential life skill for everybody in the society in the days to come. By the time you're going to come into the industry, by the time you're going to be in the finishing 10 years from now, you all would be working in many of the industries at least with 5 to 6 years of experience working in industries. By then, 10 years down the line, what we are going to see is not just the generative AI, but also the AGI. So that is more of a compute in your hand. And I think you'll be solving even more complicated problems. So the journey of AI, even for a common man, is going to be that they are going to be the consumers of this artifact called as the generative AI solutions, or maybe the AGI solutions that we're going to make. And I think I see that there is a huge excitement across the states, and I see people signing up. And I was told that close to 2,000 teams have already signed up, and there would be a filtering mechanism. You'll be having industry mentors for sure for now, which not just here, but the select of the projects. We're thinking of somewhere close to the numbers have not been finalized, but we think that we'll be able to host close to 500 teams for the finale. When you'll be doing it, when we have the AI conference in the month of April 12th and 13th in Hyderabad. And I think this is going to be a huge event where there's going to be a showcase of the top 500, of which we're going to select some of these things. And the journey is not going to stop here. We're going to build LLMs with our own cultures, with our own cultural context. And most of you all have been part of this great journey of data collection drives, and you have collected a huge amount of data. Some of you were a part of the summer internship. And this year, we're going to again further move forward into a huge number of summer internships around AI, where we just not want to collect data and do a small things on the data that you have collected, but rather build on a comprehensive solution. I think this is going to be an ongoing journey, and this AI Days gives you an opportunity to interact and spread your wings to basically have a look at all the possibilities of participation, and be a mentor, be a participant, be a team lead. And we also are encouraging the colleges and the universities where we're getting very positive feedback, where faculty members are taking special keen interest in uh, mentoring the teams. And I think we haven't really looked at it, but it becomes all the more important for us to look at faculty mentors also. Identifying the best faculty mentor also is going to be something which we'll have to be looking into, and I think we'll be looking into it shortly. And I wish you all the best, and I wish that uh, if the numbers go the same way, we'll be having close to 30,000 or 40,000 people at the least participating. So somewhere between 30 and 40,000 people at the least participating on this AI Hack Day. And I think thank you so much for inviting me and having me here.
Chandra sir, for your insightful speech and for sharing your knowledge with us. Now let's welcome Kaunanya, who is a developer core team member at Swecha, dedicated to free and open source software and a senior architect in data science at Genpact. With extensive experience in data science and a passion for open source innovation, he has been a key contributor to impactful projects in technology and community driven development. Thank you.
Continue, we can't hear you.
Hello everyone. Am I audible now? So, and thanks for your patience. Thanks for waiting during that time. So, first of all, as in I saw some of the questions on the chat group, and yes, and I want you to ask a lot of questions. As in, probably I'll switch back as to as in what are some of the questions that you have, and I'll try to answer as much as I can. Okay, but nevertheless, then this session is more for asking questions, so please do ask as many questions as you can. Okay, so what is this AI hack day and what is it all about, right? So that is what we want to discuss, and I want to um, dive into a little as in some of the tools that we will be using and probably take some use cases around it. So let's understand as in what is this AI hack day. Okay, and first of all, thank you for our collaborators as in the IIIT Hyderabad, Ozontel, Task, TechVedica, and DigiQuanta. These are our collaborators and who made it possible for this AI hack day. Okay, and now let's understand what is this AI hack day. And yes, as Tanmay already pointed it out, this AI hack day is a national level hackathon across India, and it is meant for uh, building innovative applications by students. Okay, and how are they going to build it? They can use a plethora of tools such as the AI tools, which we are going to discuss about briefly, and wherein we are trying to solve real world problems. Okay, and how much time has been given? 6 hours development time has been given for it. Okay, and what is the theme for it? Okay, when we say real world challenges or real world problems, what is it that we want to address? What we want to address, that can we solve the societal problems, especially in the four areas, which I'll talk about briefly in the next slides. And the theme is that, can we use artificial intelligence and can we empower our own future, as in by inclusion and by following our heritage and combining it with the innovation, right? So the idea here is we are trying to bring together the experts as well as institutions and bridge the gap that is there in between. Okay, and the idea also is here that we are trying to develop solutions, okay, by the people for the people. Okay, that is what is meant by people centric AI development. Okay, and we are also trying to focus on the responsible AI, and we are also trying to come up with the breakthrough advancements, right? For example, why should it be only can't we have $1 million or $1 billion company emerging out of India? Why is it always, or why are the Fortune 100 companies, most of them are US based, right? So why can't we have such things, as in why can't we have Flipkart or many such as in the cloud native or the AI native solutions within India? Okay, now that India is a growing economy, all these things, as in this is the vision that we want to target. This is the mission that we want to target, as in to build that kind of ecosystem. And to build that ecosystem, this is the first step, right? This is what we are targeting. And when I said tracks, themes or tracks, right? And we are trying to solve the problem statements. And we have four domains. The first domain is education, wherein some of the problem statements under education can be, how can we take education to the last mile? When I say the last mile here, I'm referring to the remote corners of the villages. Okay. Now, there has been a challenge that there were no people who are ready to teach in the remote areas, right? That has been a problem for long. Now that the technology has come in, and AI can also help us learn and understand concepts, why can't we use leverage AI to target such people, right? This is one of the problem statements. And the second problem statement is, now that we have a lot of languages in India, right? And why can't we teach our own uh, children or our own friends in the language that we already know? And this is another aspect, right? Likewise, as in how can we ensure that there is a live feedback mechanism that is coming out of, and so that the students can actually learn. These are all some of the problem statements that we can think about from the education theme, right? Similarly, in agriculture, how can we use AI to, let's say, profile the soil and understand that what crops need to be sown, so that our parents, our relatives who are from the farming background, right? So they don't have to face issues. So this is one such problem statement. Other such problem statement is, now that we know that there has been a heavy use of pesticides, how can we reduce the amount of pesticides that we have? And how can we leverage that without minimizing or without compromising on the profits that we are going to obtain, right? And the third thing can be, as in how can we reduce the water irrigation, right? As in how can we reduce, optimize, instead of saying reduce, how can we optimize the amount of water that can be fed to soil? Okay. And how can we build ecosystems, transport systems using AI supply chain, so that uh, as in even the farmers get a fair price, right? These are all some of the problem segments that can we can think of in the agriculture. Similarly, in the healthcare sector, how can we ensure that we talk about the potential problems or the potential clusters that are, let's say we all have been impacted by COVID, right? So then how can we predict that where exactly the COVID cluster is forming, and how can we contain them? All these things, and also how can we ensure that, and as in now that mental health is again, uh, it's becoming a concern, right? As in we have seen a lot of students committing suicide. How can we use AI to prevent that such things are not happening, right? These are some creative areas as in wherein we can actually think of and uh, come up with the problem statements and come up with the solutions, right? And similarly, when we say creative technology, there are again four different domains. The digital art, as in wherein we are trying to generate images. So probably there are some art styles which are about to get extinct because there are no users to actually learn about that art, right? Can we use AI to recreate, let's say, the legendary Bapu style of paintings, right? And all these things. And similarly, can we generate videos to say that, to tell about, let's say, your own college, or let's say even better, as in let's say we want to promote our local tourism, can we use AI to describe about the whole village with just the AI? Can we create our own AI videos, or can we create a mechanism so that um, these videos are generated which promotes the local tourism, right? And similarly, for audio generation, can we create audio, or can we create a fusion music wherein we blend both the historical aspects as well as the modern music? Okay. There have been and similarly with this example of story generation, and for you to understand all of this, right? As in, I'll tell you some of the ways in which we can do this. I hope that all of you have watched the movie Kalki, right? Again, what is the inspiration for the Kalki movie? The Kalki movie's inspiration is from the Indian heritage, right? And similarly for the movies like Bahubali, they have taken all these inspiration from the previous, as in the Indian culture, Indian heritage, and they are trying to spin up stories and they are able to generate revenue, right? Similarly, why can't we do it using AI? Why can't we create our own solutions, our own startups, right, using AI? So this is what we want to target. So basically, these are the four themes: education, agriculture, healthcare, creative technology, wherein you are supposed to work on the problem statements. And we have circulated a list of problem statements if you don't have any idea. But if you do have an idea about, as in these areas, then you're definitely welcome to come up with your own problem statements on this to work upon. Okay. And what are you going to build? You're going to build working prototypes or proof of concept in the 6 hours. Okay, using the latest AI tools and models. And how should those solutions be? They should be practical and ready to deploy solutions. And the prime focus is on creative problem solving. How are you trying to solve the problem? Is it scalable? These are some of the parameters, and I'll tell you the list of parameters by which you will be working on, or by which you will be evaluated. Okay. And the important aspect is you should have a bent of how to solve the problem, and no AI development knowledge is required. That is not the criteria. The only criteria is, are you willing to try to solve the problem? Are you willing to put in the effort? Are you able to think creatively to figure out a solution? Okay. So again, what is the hack day format? The format is uh, 3 members per team. and and what do you have? You have industry mentors who are actually coming down to your respective colleges, and they are going to explain you the concepts. And briefly, and they'll also be present to help you or guide you as in whenever you are trying to build the solution. Okay, and you'll also have the chance to do a live project demonstration when the jury is evaluating your solution, and you'll have the expert feedback, right? So that is also live and hands-on experience with open source and AI tools. Even if you don't have any knowledge of AI tools, how can you leverage it? How can you write your thoughts correctly um, so that you will be able to develop a solution? That's what we will see here. And what is the timeline? We'll have a session around 9:30 a.m. Wherein the industry experts are going to brief you about what are some of the techniques or tools that you can use, and followed by you'll have approximately 5.5 hours for the hackathon, and followed by the jury evaluation, wherein you're supposed to present the before jury, and jury is going to evaluate. Okay, and this is the place wherein I want to invest some time and invest some time here to show you some live examples. Okay, and just so this link, right, as in here, what are these? The language models. Again, when I say language models, they have a lot of other capabilities also, as in they can actually converse, they can generate images, as in even Gemini has come up with generation, image generation and everything. Okay, so let's go into chat gpt. I'll tell you how main idea here is how can I use these tools to develop, let's say, prototype, or to develop a presentation, or how do these tools help in solving the problem that I'm trying to solve, right? Okay, my screen is not being shared. I hope my screen is visible. The chat GPT screen. What I have done is these are hyperlinks. I clicked on this chat GPT and it had taken me to the chat GPT portal. Okay. So now let's say I'm trying to build a solution which is trying to create, let's say I want to have a solution which works as a live feedback mechanism to improve my English language, or let's say I want to understand the coding. Okay, or it's more like I want to generate a code. Okay, to develop an application. Okay, so I ask it, I want your help to generate web. What is the kind of application that you want? As in, for now, let's go with a simple one. As in, okay, to generate a Python code, what should it do? So let's say it should do a small Fibonacci series. Okay, so as soon as I write that, as in I get some portal, as in wherein it says how do I use this Fibonacci series. Okay, and I'll say that if you're well versed with the coding styles, as in I can refine the code simply saying that I need the code in such a way. This is pretty good to start with, but I need a code in such a way to that it involves recursion. Okay, so now again, it is trying to what is it is trying to do? It is trying to optimize the code all by itself. I have just given as in prompt wherein I am the person who is going to steer it, as in I am the person who is going to give you the idea, and basis on that idea it is developing the code. This is pretty simple, right? Now let me ask and let me try to create a new chat. Okay, so let's say what I am trying to say here is, let's say I want to create an image. Okay, and I'm saying create an image, as an, even if you have noticed, the AI days image has been created using the GPT. So what I'm saying here is create an image to, hmm, for my college hackathon handout. Okay, and you can give, so this is a vague prompt. So let's say if you want more understanding, just like you describe it to a friend, the same way you need to describe it, giving more details. uh, the hackathons, as in if you give themes and other things, it helps in creating that image. Okay, so the hackathons theme uh, should be a fusion of, um, let's say a fusion of traditional and futuristic. And and let's say the theme of the hackathon is sustainable AI. So now it kind of generates an image for us, and this functionality is called being a multimodal. So now, see, as in it gave one thing. So if I give it style, okay. So let's say I think it's a kalamkari style, right? Um, so let's see the images. Let's say I want this the theme to be in the kalamkari style. Let's try it, give it a try then. That please generate the image. Please regenerate the image with kalamkari style. Okay, let's see how it generates. Okay, as you can see, it is something close to whatever the kalamkari style is. So if we give more attributes, more if we are artistic, and if we give more information as to how this should look like, we can actually, instead of starting from ground zero and using a lot of tools to achieve this, you can use AI to generate such images. Likewise, I want to talk about two more things, as in the most popular ones are GPT, Gemini, and Claude, and I'll also talk about Perplexity in some time. So again, here one of the cool features of Gemini is that we also have some deep research. Okay, so let's say you want to research about, let's say, uh, research sensor trends. Okay, and I'm going with uh, the prompt that they have already given. Help me research autonomous vehicle sensor trends for my robotic system. Okay, now it gives a lot of information. So, and it is trying to analyze the report, and as in these are the steps that it had talked about, and I'm okay with the plan, and I said okay, I'm okay with your plan, and let's start the research, right? So now when it is trying to start the research, so it again searches the web, it browses the content, and it generates a small concise report for me. Okay, it had gone through all of these. Okay, and it is trying to take the data, scrape the data, and it is trying to create a consolidated report for me. And then it is, since it's going to take some time, I'll move on to other things. So now you, what you are looking for is, hey, Kaundinya, I don't want a deep research. What I want is some uh, answer where I can cite the sources, right? So I want an answer where I want to cite the sources, and let's say give me the latest information about, let's say, video generators, AI video generators that are popular in the market. Okay, and what it does is this perplexity. It gives us again all the AI generators that are available. Okay, now you don't know anything, and you don't know how to open Sora, and how do you use it. Okay, and you ask a consecutive prompt saying that I don't know how to use Sora by OpenAI. Help me, help me with a detailed step by step example on the usage of Sora so that I can generate a video. Again, you can give the theme also, as in I am going with a sample example here. Uh, Please state all the requirements and assumptions that I need to uh, take care of. Okay. Now, now that I have ask this, now it will give that, hey, as in we have a plus plan, so it's not a free thing, so we need to have a subscription to ChatGPT plus or pro plan, so I can't use it. Or then what is it asking? It asking that I should have a device under internet, and I should have a content ownership and other things. But once this is done, let's say you have an access to this ChatGPT plus, which I kind of do have. I'll show that example. So how do you access Sora? And then OpenAI website. Okay, log into the OpenAI account and navigate to the Sora. Okay, so now it has given you all the steps, as in how do I input the text prompt, how do I generate the video, how do I review the generated videos and everything. And the good thing with this perplexity AI is, so as you can see, it is also citing the resources from which it had taken the resources from. Right. For example, let's say it's talking about Leonardo AI. Okay. So when I say the Leonardo AI as and I want to go to the actual source instead of me relying on uh, the response generated by LLM, I can actually go there and I can actually read it myself. Okay, this is pretty useful in the sense that, let's say if I want to refer to the documentations, especially for the code, right? So this feature, as in wherein we are getting the resources, it comes very handy. Okay, this is one thing that I wanted to discuss about. Okay, and secondly, you also have code editors called cursors. Okay, especially when you are programming, cursor is an integrated IDE, a integrated IDE, where you can download it for Windows and Mac. As in, what happens is, I hope you know about the Visual Studio Code. If not, what these thing guys, as in what do they do is that they help in developing or writing the code, and wherein you can quickly edit it, right? Quickly edit and showcase it. So I have this code editor also handy. Let me share that. uh, Let me show you an example again. Let me go with a folder that I am already, or let's say, let's create a folder. Mm, now what I am saying is AI. Once I have this handy, this is if you guys are familiar with the Visual Studio Code, it has a similar thing, just like the Visual Studio Code. Let's say again, I'm saying I'm creating a new Python file. Okay, um, it helps me. Um, it helps with auto completion, and it all automatically writes code for me. Okay, just a minute. Let me write it. It's since it's saving, it's activating extensions. Once it is done, as in it will automatically complete the code. So now, since now that it is taking time, in the interest of time, I'll get back to this. Okay. So it says that see, Control L to chat or Control K to generate. As in, let's say I'm saying Control K to generate. So what are the coding instructions? Um, create a recursive, create a function to generate Fibonacci series using recursion. Okay. So let's go with this. I can and the good thing is I can change what the models I have, and we can also use the local models here. So once it takes some time, it's just like if you guys don't have the cursor, we can also install VS Code, and you can create a GitHub account, and you will have a GitHub Copilot. And once the Copilot is then, as in it works on a similar fashion. Okay, and I say Control Alt. So as in Fibonacci series, again, this is a recursion because we are calling a function inside a function. This is super duper helpful. Let's say I want to chat with it, and I'll say that, hey, and please explain me this code. Okay. So when I say please explain me this code, what it does is it tells in details as to what is this code, how is it working, and we can have a conversation as to why this is happening, and what is the significance of the different parts of the code. Okay, this is super duper helpful, especially when you're trying to understand the code. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me zoom in. So what I have done is I have selected this code file, and I have selected the lines 2 to 12, and I have asked the code editor to explain me this code. Okay, and once I asked it explain me this code, it provided saying that, hey, yes, what is this? There is a function, and the function definition is this, and what are the base cases? The base cases have been covered, and the recursive case has been covered, and what is the summary? Like, please help me with an example. Um, example to calculate um, the Fibonacci of 5. And again, it helps us generate the code, and it gives us the answer. Okay. So how does it work? The math logic behind it's giving us an example. Okay. Then 0 1 1 2 3, and why is it 0 1 1 2 3? It's also helping us with an example. Right. Similarly, what we have is um, Likewise, as in there are a plethora of AI tools that are available. This is one code editor. Similarly, what we have is, in the interest of time, what I'll do is I'll quickly wrap up. We have image and video generators also. So the Runway is the most popular tool that is available, and they have their pricing options. But to get started, you will have a free account which can generate approximately 10 minutes of video across all most of these platforms, and you can actually create these platforms. You can actually create these personas, and you can use it. Okay, and similar and bolt.new is again a super duper helpful tool. Again, the idea here is I want to build. If you want to build a cloud some application without trying to download, install, or anything, bolt.new helps you with that. And you can also deploy the web application directly from this bolt.new. This website is super duper helpful. Okay, it's simple. You give a prompt, you run it, you make some changes based on how you visualize it, and finally you deploy the full stack web applications right out of your browser. So which is awesome. Okay, and similarly, the audio generation. For the audio generation, again we have Suno, and what it does is it creates a song about anything. You write the lyrics, and you give what is the um what is the song about, or and what should be the speaker talking about, and you can generate this. And this is by no means the tools that you should be using. You can use any and every AI tool for this hackathon. Okay, the idea or the emphasis here is on your innovation and creativity for solving the problem, and your technical implementation. How are you implementing the technically, and most importantly, what is the feasibility of it, and what is the real world application of your problem statement that you're trying to solve. It has the most weightage, followed by the innovation and creativity, and 15% is for presentation. How are you presenting before the jury, and what are the ways, as in how is your presentation style good or not, as in are you able to communicate properly. This is the evaluation criteria. And again, some quick tips as to how to win this hackathon. Again, what you need to do is you need to have some strategy as to who are the team members, who are working on what, and who takes the thinking hat. Okay, sometimes more often than not, what I have seen teams doing is they decide a lot of time on picking up the strategy for the problem statement. So that if you can avoid that, and if you can decide on the problem statement and the approach, then that's half problem solved. Okay, and again, there is a pure as a complete deck as to how you can solve this problem. But once your team is ready, you should focus more on the rapid prototyping, as in you get it or fail. If it fails, immediately going on to the next step, right? And well, somebody is doing it probably within 1 hour or so, as in someone is actually trying to uh, one of your team members is actually trying to make the presentation and is ready for the pitch, as in how do you do it, right? So this is more on the lines of as an evaluation criteria and how to win the hackathons, right? And what are some of the additional requirements? Again, you probably need to have the laptop or a desktop, or at least one member should have it with internet access so that you can access AI tools. And what are the basic tools that, as in, it would be great if you have some basic tools such as Code EMBS, Code Jupyter Notebook, and Python. And if you are trying to solve some web applications, then you need to have your tech stack accordingly. Okay, and for yeah, I'll answer the questions. As in, give me some time. I'll just complete this requirements piece, and I'll jump right back in. And obviously, the most important requirement is your enthusiasm for problem solving and for AI, using AI, and that's about it. And let me jump right back to the questions. Okay, let me unshare it, and I'll reshare and see your questions. Uh, yes. So I'll try to read some of the questions in the public chat and answer your questions. Um, Okay, I'll try to see. So for the AI hack is which tool you will be using, and Abhiram, for your question, so you can use any AI tool that is available in the market, as in free or paid or open source, and preferably open source. And the idea here is how do you develop a solution or how do you solve the problem statement rather than what is the AI tool that you are using. So there are no limits on what the AI tools that you will be using. You can use any tools, and please, yes. So Sri Kartikeya. So for please, his newer question is please give an example regarding a problem statement on education domain. So what we will do is we will share a list of problem statements with your faculty members, your spokes, uh, and they will circulate that problem statement information with you. And we have curated a list of problem statements, and that by no means is exhaustive. You can come up with your own problem statements too. And can we pick a new problem that we see in the real world personally in these domains and solve using AI for the event? This is a question from Innovation Incubation and Entrepreneurship Head. Hey, yes, you can. You can pick any problem that you see in the real world under these domains. There is no limit that as in you should work only on the problem statements that we have given you. Okay. And sir, some problem statement. This is from Charan. Some problem statement took time to make prototype instead of it. Can be able to present our solution in the form of presentation. Charan, that kind of defeats the purpose of the developing a solution. The idea here is you pick up a problem statement and you try to develop a solution on that day. Okay. So try to build web sometime, put your team effort in those 6 hours to come up with a solution to that. Okay. And so Dr. Rajnikant sir is asking, okay, they can be permitted and prototype will be ready. So I am not sure if that is a question, so I'm skipping this. So will you give problems or should we take? So some problem statements will be given by us, so if you don't have as to clarity as to what you will be working upon, or if you have a clarity as to what you'll be working on in that particular domain, yes, you can go ahead and take that problem statement. Okay. And this question is from Irfan. um, shall the team members be present physically? No, as in Prashant, the team members should be present physically so that it's easy for you to uh, participate in the hackathon. Else, as in, it defeats the purpose of the hackathon. And online, from my experience, it is a nightmare to manage people online. You can't do it. That's my personal experience. Unless you are so um, as in well coordinated. But this one is physically. You should be present physically. Okay. I think you should also have explained about Hugging Face. Yes. Okay. Name is Optimus Prime. I don't know that person. Hey. Yes. Hugging Face also has a lot of models. Yes. We will add that into the slides. So the idea or what is the advantage that we have with the Hugging Face, as rightly pointed it out. Hugging Face has a list of models that can be used. Those models you can directly plug in and use that those models, as in we have language models and vision models too. As in, if possible, I'll take 1 or 2 minutes to show that Hugging Face also. And how many team members should be present? By Ruchita. Yes. Hey, Ruchita. There should be 3 members in that per team. Okay. And sir, should we have to present PPT or prototype on 25th Jan? So you should, as in this is by Prasanna. So hi Prasanna, so you have to present a prototype in the form of a PPT. If you think that the presentation can be done better in any other medium, that's not a problem. Idea here is you're going to showcase your prototype. When I say prototype, a working demo of the code along with how you have approached the problem via the presentation. It's not just a presentation. Okay. And or we can use software AI tools. Can we use the hardware components for solving the problem? Or um, I did not understand the last question. No, can we use the hardware components for solving the problem, or only we have to use software AI tools for solving the problem? So there are no limitations on what kind of tools that we will be using. For example, if you have some application on the hardware, of course, definitely, as in especially agriculture deals with those kind of problems, as in especially the robotics or the hardware problems. If you can solve that problem, well and good. Yes, of course you can. How many rounds we have in this hackathon? So hey, Manoj, so we have 3 rounds. The first round is this, as an AI hack day. From that, then we will take selected teams from each college, and they are going to participate in the AI days 1 day. And from that, again teams will be shortlisted, and we will have a final finale of sorts in the last day, on the last second day of AI hack days. Okay. Uh, the evaluation criteria is just I just uh, showed here. Uh, I hope you can see the evaluation criteria right now. Okay. In the interest of time, what I'll do is and quickly showcase the hugging face, because that's one good thing that a person has pointed it out. And I'll quickly showcase that hugging face, and we can. If you have any questions, please reach out to us, and that's it. Okay. So now, uh, very quickly. Mm, Hugging Face. When you click on this Hugging Face, again, this is whole the open source community that we have. What we have is, here we have the data sets, we have the models. When we can also search for the models as to audio, text to text, image, text to text, visual question answering, so on and so forth. Okay. So let's say if I want audio, text to text. Okay. So these are all the models. Okay. We have Quen series. Quen series is super awesome, and you can definitely want to give it a try. And how do you use Quen, and how do you use it in the Python? They have also have a code snippet, and you can actually use those code snippets and get it up and running. Okay. And similarly, you don't just have the models, you have the data sets, and you have the spaces where you can host your applications, right? And you also have something known as a Hugging Chat. Okay. Hugging Face chat. um, so again, this is more like an open source version of the Hugging Face, wherein uh, first, as in you can just like the GPT, right? So it is more like a GPT version of the Hugging Face, and you can use Quen models. Quen are super good, and you can, if you think that, as in, I don't want to use Gemini, Claude, or anything, as in, you can go for Hugging Face, and you can actually get the API and use that in your solutions. Having said that, so that's all for today, and you can reach out to us on as in at the rate a hackday at swecha.net, or hackday.ai.io, or or you can reach out to your spokes. Your spokes will or your professors in charge, and those professors will in turn reach out to us to help answer all the queries that you have. On that note, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Kaunanya sir, for your insightful speech and for sharing your knowledge. So, thank you all for being a part of AI Hack Day 2025 orientation program. Your enthusiasm and passion for innovation are what will drive this event forward. I'm excited to see the incredible ideas we'll develop and the solutions we'll create together. Let's continue to collaborate, learn, and push the boundaries of what's possible in AI. Here's to a successful and impactful hackathon. Thank you.